Good evening, everyone. Now, you must have had a very good session on action plans. I being working in the government, and we oversee the implementation of action plans. So I will take you to the issue of governance and the issue of synergy, the issue of coordination among various actors which are responsible for implementation of action plans. Next, please. You all know that our clean air action plans are a kind of a very complex structures. They are multi-sectoral. You have action points related to industries, you have action points related to transport sector, you have action points related to construction and demolition sector, then waste, and then of course the dust mitigation, etc. So all the action plans you will see, they have numerous sectoral intervention actions to be taken up by multiple agencies. Next, please. Yeah, next, please. And since there are multiple sector involved, all the actions are multi-stakeholder. Like if I take example of the state of Uttar Pradesh, we have identified total 17 departments and agencies. To name a few would be urban local body, which is the main, transport, agriculture, development authority, then Institute of Reputes, multiple construction agencies. Somewhere you have National Highway Authority of India, somewhere you have Bridge Corporation, somewhere you have Railways Construction Company, somewhere you have, every city must be having multiple construction agencies. Then of course the issue of traffic, smooth and free flow of traffic. Then metro is also an agency with whom you have to coordinate while the implementation of action plan. Then of course the very important one, the greening and forestry activity within the city, which is so in all we have identified for the state of Uttar Pradesh 17 stakeholders who are responsible for implementation of action plans. So you must appreciate that the success of action plan actually depends upon how effectively you implement it, number one, and what is the synergy of actions, whether all the actions are directed towards a synergized approach or not. So you will appreciate when I will come to the later slides that what are all the issues which are important for, and how best you can have a very good technological interventions for achieving the synergized actions. So number one, that you need to deal with very high number of agencies, departments, etc., and the synergy of implementation is very, very important. Coordination amongst the department. I will cite an example of implementation of graded response action plan. Like in NCR region, whenever the pollution levels are at the level of severe, you need to immediately take action for closure of certain activities. Your success will depend how soon, in a very coordinated way, you take action implementation on the ground level. So next, please. Yeah. So the complexity of the problem can be seen, can be appreciated with multiple sources of pollution. You have multiple sources of pollution. Like if I talk of Lucknow city, where I am sitting, will be having around 2000 industries, maybe around 50 traffic congestion points, around 250 kilometers of road inside the Lucknow city where mechanical sweeping is to be carried out. There may be garbage dumping sites where garbage burning takes place. So there are multiple sources within the city. And you will also appreciate that there are certain sources which are very important for city air quality, which are towards the upwind direction of the city, but outside the municipal limits, which we technically call as a micro airshed, the sources which are falling in micro airshed of the cities. So that is also a challenge which we need to understand, so that the action in those places will also be taken up in a synergized manner. Then the dynamic nature of control measures. You have a set of control measures for, say, if I take example of dust, you have a set of control measures, but those control measures are dynamic in nature. Sometimes dust generation is high, sometimes it is low, sometimes some new construction activity has started, sometimes there is a marriage season and there is a traffic jam in the city. So all these sources are very dynamic in nature, that you will have to bear in mind while implementing your action plan. And of course, most of the actions are of continuous nature. You have to do it every day. That means you have to monitor it all the time. It's not that once you have done it, it is over. You have to do it continuously. Then there is a question of advanced preparedness also. You must be aware of the Honorable Supreme Court's observation, where they have said that in graded response action plan, you take action when the air quality has already worsened. So you need to have some kind of a advanced early warning system by which you can take actions. And if I see that after, say, a period of a week, my air quality of Lucknow is going to be worsened, so I need to prepare our resources, machineries, human resources, financial resources for that period of time in advance. So advanced preparedness is also a very important facet of implementation of action plan. And of course, the forecast based actions is one more area where we are getting very robust kind of forecasting systems in place. And probably you will be exposed to those kind of forecast systems which are being developed by SAFAR meteorological department and all. So but at the implementation side, we need to see the forecast based actions are also well coordinated, very well in place. Next, please. So what are the challenges of implementation of action plans? One is, of course, which I was mentioning all through, that it's a multi-stakeholder action, coordination is needed, synergy is needed. Second is round the clock, 24/7 monitoring of pollution sources. I am having a construction project in Lucknow. Sometimes the level of compliance of that project is good whenever I send somebody for inspection. but as soon as he comes back, maybe level of compliance may not be that good. So you have to monitor pollution sources all the time. So it's very difficult when the sources are numerous. Like if I count all the sources, if I map all the sources, there may be some 5 to 10,000 sources within the city. So how would you monitor all these sources 24/7 so that you can take action whenever there is a slippage? So that is the biggest challenge. See, the era of physical monitoring is gone. Now we have to think very loud for virtual monitoring, which I will come in the latter part of my talk. Then the third challenge is whatever actions we are taking, what is the impact of those actions? Whether our actions are directed towards right direction or not, whether we are able to address the major polluting sources or not, that is the question. See, in most of the non-attainment cities, the source apportionment studies have not been completed so far. I am trying to draw your attention towards those cities. Even in the state of UP, out of 17 non-attainment cities, about 12 non-attainment city source apportionment studies are still going on. And emission inventory is a dynamic in nature. We thank IIT Kanpur that they have developed a software by which we can have a dynamic kind of emission inventory. But sources, they keep on changing. So whatever actions we are taking, we need to verify the impact also from time to time. And here the role of our Institute of Reputes and our local technical partners will come into play. The resource is the biggest problem. To me, working about 6-7 years at the government policy planning level, I feel that the biggest problem for air pollution control is the resources. Like if you take out any action plan of clean air action plan of any city, and if you do the financial estimating of how much cost you actually need to have to implement all the actions, I think it will be very, very voluminous. And whatever you are having as a resource, maybe around 30 to 40%. We did this analysis for the state of Uttar Pradesh, where we could estimate it's in our website also, you can access to it. In fact, our Lucknow action plan was circulated throughout the country as a model micro plan, where we could actually map the resource need of every action. And we could also map, after coordinating with 17 departments, that how much resources are actually available. But to my and to your utter surprise, that we had only 30 to 40% of resources. So resources is also a big challenge. Then the next challenge is 17 departments are taking actions. Who would be there to monitor those actions? I must know, or a chief secretary of the state must know, that urban local body is doing his work the way he is supposed to do. There is a monitoring of actions also, how the action plan is implemented. Today we are sitting here just to see how effectively we can implement action plans. And who will implement action plans? It is us who will implement. But we need a kind of a monitoring of implementation of action plan. If we monitor it regularly, then of course we would be addressing the monitoring issues also. Then of course we should have a decision support system for implementers. Like if I am an urban local body looking to the various actions, I must have a dashboard, I must have a portal, by a knowledge portal kind of thing regarding our day-to-day action, day-to-day activities, by way of which I can take appropriate and timely decisions in a very speedy manner. So that kind of challenge, in fact, is there in the implementation of action plans. You may be having a very robust, very good action plan. You may be having very high amount of resources available, but if it is not implemented properly, then it will not bring out the pollution level to the desired level. So governance and monitoring is one of the biggest issues where we have to focus, for achieving the desired targets for reduction of air pollution. Next, please. I will be trying to address some of the issues for a general benefit of all our participants, that monitoring of pollution sources is one of the biggest issues. And in fact, the government of UP is working with IIT Kanpur to develop a very universal kind of air quality monitoring tool. This universal tool is basically will not be reinventing the wheel again and again. In fact, we have already done some study with the Smart City ICCC Integrated Command and Control Center, and I will come to that universal monitoring tool, because you will appreciate that unless you monitor, you cannot address. So the multiplicity of pollution sources, how can you monitor in a very effective manner in virtual way, because monitoring physically is very, very difficult. So that kind of a universal tool must be in place for implementation of city action plans. This will address the issues of implementation, issues of monitoring of pollution sources, issues of compliance to the large extent. And also it has a very larger coverage. If you monitor something virtually with technological interventions, it will be having very larger coverage. And then the source, if I am a source, if I am a construction project, I should feel that I am being watched 24/7. If I am sitting in my room and there is a camera, I am sitting and speaking in front of you, I will follow all protocols, all etiquettes, because I know that you people are watching me. So that theory should be applied for monitoring of pollution sources. Then there should be transparency in monitoring data. Whatever data is generated out of monitoring of pollution sources, it is to be very, very transparent. It should be shared in a very transparent manner to the public at a second stage, but to 17 departments and to the monitors of implementation. I'll also come to that side in a very transparent way. Ideally, whatever monitoring data one urban local body is getting on their dashboard, if we could build up such kind of a transparency that it can be seen by secretary, who is me, and it can be seen on his dashboard by, and it could be seen by even chief secretary of Uttar Pradesh on his desktop. So that kind of a transparency, if I am a urban local body and if I have a feeling that my data, whatever violations and whatever good work is coming on dashboard can be actually seen by our CM also. So that kind of a transparency in monitoring data should be maintained. And we must have a dashboard for auto display of violations. We should not be fetching data from somewhere. It should be on my desktop that how many violations today I have out of. Yes, we will share the presentation, Mr. Day. We will share the presentation definitely. I'll request the organizers to share the presentation. Then, of course, whatever actions we take should be online. It should be paperless. Supposing there is a violation of the project, every project must register on your portal before the start of work. And whatever violation is reported, it must be electronically transferred to them that you have violated. The project manager, the supervisor must get SMS alert that I have done a violation and this much of penalty show cause has come to me. So that kind of a paperless system should be in place. Then we must have a protocols for action. If you have a monitoring data with you, and what is the way forward, you must know that out of this monitoring data, who has to do what, who will be issuing show cause, and if show cause is issued and if show cause is not non-compliant, then penalty will be imposed by whom, and who will recover penalty in how many days, and how he will recover penalty in case of default by the project proponent. So those kind of robust protocols should be there, and they must be built in your universal monitoring tool. So you can click the hyperlink of universal air quality monitoring tool. PPT is not opening. Please help me to click the hyperlink of universal air quality monitoring tool. Or else you can play that PPT separately. Yes, thank you. Next, please. So this is the kind of universal air quality monitoring tool we have been trying to achieve, and we in fact started our work from smart city software. The smart city software is a very good software, but it is highly underutilized. Like smart cities, they are not using this software, and you can use this software anywhere. You have to just borrow from them. And now we are doing some add-ons, this add-ons on this software to make it a very robust kind of universal air quality, air pollution source monitoring tool. Actually, what happened, we developed separate systems for monitoring of pollution sources. We developed a kind of a dust app to monitor the construction sector. Then we put some PTZ cameras on construction sites, and then we started getting webcam feed on our server. Then we thought that we must have some kind of a system where they can upload their self audits also, which we can monitor. But we thought that we will end up having number of portals, number of applications for monitoring of, like CPCB has online continuous emission and effluent monitoring sensors. So that data is also coming on CPCB portal. So you will find that there are number of tools by which we are monitoring the sources. But with this smart city ICCC software, you can integrate all of them into one, and it will become a kind of universal tool. And ICCC, next please. ICCC software. Next please. Yes. Next please. I'll just, we visited ICCC of Lucknow. Our team of pollution control board and officers of a smart city are seen. Next please. See, this is the kind of smart city software. Every state has some 1 or 2 or 10 smart cities in them. So smart city software has a facility to upload SOP for monitoring. It has got platform for capturing data for dispersed pollution source through mobile app video feeds. Like they have a mobile app by which you can go around in your city and you can capture various dispersed pollution sources, and then it has got a platform for capturing the video feed also. That is the most encouraging part, that if you put a PTZ camera on some construction site, the smart city tool already has a platform by which you can receive a 24/7 video feed in your integrated command and control center. So it has got mobile app, it has got video camera feed platform, and it has got facility to upload SOP for monitoring, and it has got a very good mobile app to capture data regarding the dispersed pollution sources and to monitor them from time to time. The only thing needed here is that industrial data capture system is not there, number one. Number two, you need to place the video cameras at various pollution sources. You have platform with you. The only thing is you have to place video camera. You need to have a team of dedicated field monitoring assistants, maybe 10, 12 in a city, who can go around with mobile app and they can map the dispersed point sources, line sources, and the data is automatically fed into a smart city server. But there is a challenge that industrial data feed platform is not there. So we thought the smart city ICCC software is so good that it has already most of the facilities. Why not we should upgrade it and make it a good use for monitoring of pollution sources. It will not only improve the coordination, transparency, because this tool, if you give login ID, password to any department, he can see this data and he can consume data for his actions. Next, please. So here I have done a kind of a analysis. That physical infrastructure, it has got very robust state-of-art ICCC with HR, 10 workstations for monitoring control of MSI ICCC, state-of-art building smart cities they are having. But what they are not having is they are having software architect, mobile application they are having, interface for PTZ camera they are having, a smart city GIS portal for departments they are having, IoT platform enables the government to remotely manage and control various citizen services via single platform, and they have a high capacity data storage. Next, please. So now we thought that let us work upon this tool, and we identified gaps. So we thought that we need to put PTZ cameras across the city at various locations so that 24/7 monitoring of pollution sources is our team can monitor the pollution sources 24/7, at least in the daytime. But if you put in place infrared camera, then in the night you can also monitor. Then for industrial pollution control, the biggest problem with the industries in the state of Uttar Pradesh and maybe across your states will be that they fail to run their air pollution control devices at times, because particularly for MSME, which is the most polluting sector to our understanding, the running of APCS is not viable to them. Sometimes some breakdown goes, so they will run the industry for 3-4 days and the scrubber will not be working. So how to monitor in the real time that their APCS is working? So we have started putting a system that you have to put a smart meter in the sub circuit of air pollution control device, and that smart meter feed can be a platform is being developed wherein the smart meter feed comes into the ICCC integrated command and control center, and from control center our team can see that if there are 500 industries in Lucknow, how many industries air pollution control devices are working and how many industries air pollution control devices are not working. So after that, it will be a good decision support system to send your ground team to those industries where APCS is not working for physical verification. So that kind of a system is a way forward. And in fact, IIT Kanpur is working on it. And we will be soon developing this industrial monitoring system on top of OSIMs also in our universal tool. Then, of course, we need field monitors. We need 10-12 field monitors. And of course, we need a dedicated team in ICCC. 24/7, they can sit here shift by shift, maybe some 6-7 persons who can prepare, who can monitor the pollution sources, create alerts. There is a system of generating auto alerts by the smart city software, but also our team who would be sitting over there, they can actually capture the video feeds of violations so that it can be used for actions in the future. So this kind of a system we have to have in place. Next, please. And for this system, I'm not going into detail. I will share my PPT with you all. And this kind of a system in a nutshell will provide you a very good monitoring tool for monitoring of all kinds of pollution sources. You can put a video camera in the construction site. If the dust is being generated, you can see, you can capture that video feed and you can online transfer that video feed to the construction agency, and you can impose penalty on them. This will improve the governance, this will improve the implementation, and this will support and help you to monitor your sources 24/7. And when you democratize this data to other departments, to public, then of course everybody would be able to act upon, and the responsibility, accountability will also increase. So this kind of a universal tool is an answer to 3 challenges which we were discussing. We can come out from this PPT and we can go to the original PPT. Please. Screenshot लेना था. Then the question comes about, we have finished monitoring of pollution sources, but the second question is the monitoring mechanism. Monitoring mechanism. See, the monitoring mechanism should be, you can click the hyperlink, please. The monitoring mechanism, there are two types of monitoring mechanism. One is internal, external, and third party. You can, I think, go to that PPT. I think you can directly access that PPT. Mechanism here, monitoring mechanism here. Yes, thank you. See, this is the kind of, the second question was the monitoring of actions is very, very important. Like what system we developed, there is a district level monitoring committee which will monitor the actions, etc., at city level. So every city is having a city level monitoring committee. We call it in the state of Uttar Pradesh a district level monitoring committee. So our district magistrate is the chairman of that monitoring committee, and the divisional forest officer being the convener of that monitoring committee, and all the department and agencies including academia and NGOs, they have been made member of that particular monitoring committee. So that monitoring committee actually reviews on a monthly basis the implementation of action plans. Here we have made a very, you can say, universal kind of monitoring mechanism which deals about air, river, waste, all kinds of management plan. But to your context, air quality monitoring action plans implementation is reviewed by them on the monthly basis, and after that they upload their reviews. There is a portal called UP Environment Compliance Portal. It's a paperless system of reporting. They upload their review, the results of review on that portal, that is automatically seen by the state level air quality monitoring committee. And the state level air quality monitoring committee also, district level monitoring is first and second week of every month. Third week would be air quality monitoring committee, who would be reviewing the district level committee reviews at the state level. And after that, in the month end, the chief secretary takes a review of all actions which are being taken at the city level. So this kind of this monitoring mechanism was developed out of government order, in the signature of chief secretary, and this is working very well. And there is a reporting system on which this monitoring mechanism works. So yeah, we can come out. So chief secretary monitors at the, so there are three levels of monitoring. If the monitoring slippage is there at the district level, then the last monitor, then the reporting mechanism, you can click the hyperlink. You have to go on a PPT mode, then only hyperlinks will be clicked. Yeah. Okay, not playing. So there is a portal called UP Environment Compliance. Can you go to Google and type UPECP? UPECP. From there you can open. This is the last thing which I wanted to show. Please come out of the presentation and go to Google search engine and type UPECP. I'm sorry, I'm not having sharing rights. Just type UPECP on Google search engine. Yeah, this is the first thing you see in Google search engine, UP Environment Compliance Portal. So this is the kind of, you can choose the language as English. And scroll down. This is our portal by which the monitoring data flows. There is a, you can choose the language as English for everybody's convenience. You will find that we have a self-declaration of dust control audit, air quality data for different cities, hotspot prioritization tool. This is Vayu Pradushan Karya Yojana. So here I will have to give you login ID and password for a district. If you click it, a template will be opened. There you will have to fill up the monthly monitoring reviews, and this is the minutes of meeting of district environment committees. So if you click here, Jila Paryavaran Samiti ka Karvrit, we work in Hindi, but it is available in English also. So here you will find, if you click here, can you help me clicking here, Jila Paryavaran Samiti, here below. Karvrit, yeah. You can click it. You will see the minutes of meeting. You can go to the first district, Gorakhpur. It's all in public domain. Yeah, Gorakhpur, you can click. A detailed monitoring review template is there, and they are also uploading their minutes of meeting for the meeting of environment committee. So these are all minutes of review meeting where you can see. So we have put every data in public domain, and anybody can go and see what Nagar Nigam, what the municipal corporation has to do, what district magistrate has instructed. And there is a reporting template also by which chief secretary and air quality monitoring committee and the district magistrate, they can also see the monthly progress of implementation of action plans. So this is an example of, you can come out from here. This is an example of paperless reporting, and it serves two purposes. One is it improves coordination, and then it provides you a proper monitoring. If district level proper monitoring is not there, then probably the air quality monitoring committee at a state level under the chairmanship of additional chief secretary of environment department, that committee will look into review the monitoring done by district and ultimately it is the chief secretary at the end who would be doing final review of the monitoring. So wherever there is a slippage, there may be some issues at the district level which cannot be resolved at district level. They are also put before the state level. So AQMC also coordinates with the line departments for ensuring resources and for ensuring better coordination, better implementation. So I am just, this is, I think, end of my time. I am skipping that monitoring protocols, but I will be sharing the kind of monitoring protocols with you. And thank you so much.